Okay, welcome back. So now we're looking at some examples. Y equals 2 sine x minus 30 degrees plus 3. Now, there's a couple of ways to do questions like this. My personal favorite is to do this. I take a look at the a value. The a value is 2. I take a look at my horizontal. Well, let's just say h equals 30 degrees. So that's going to be a shift right 30 degrees. This is going to be a vertical stretch by a multiple of 2. And finally, you've got your k equals 3. So that's going to be a vertical shift up 3 units. And I really should put in the word here horizontal. Yes, you will lose a mark if you don't have it. So you have to say a vertical stretch, a horizontal shift, and a vertical shift. So those are the things that are happening here. So if I was going to do a question like this, to be honest with you, I would probably come down here and I'd do 30, 30, 60, 90, 30, 60, 90, 30, 60, 90, 30, 60, 90, another 30, another 60, so this would take us up to 420. And again, if I was to do this question, I would do it in 2 steps, to be completely honest with you. I would first graph my first curve, which I'm going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would graph the first one as being the sine curve going like this. And that is not what they asked for, but that's that curve. That's what I would sketch first. And then I would do everything else. I would do a vertical stretch by a multiple of 2. So this would go up to here, and this one would go down to here. So that would be my new curve. And then I would do the shifts. I would move it where it goes. So it's going to go to the right 30. So every point's going to move this way 30 degrees, and it's going to go up 3. So over 30, 1, 2, 3, up 3. Over 30, 1, 2, 3, up 3. Over 30, 1, 2, 3, up 3. Over 30, 1, 2, 3. Over 30, 1, 2, 3. I would then take the horizontal axis, which is at y equals 0, and that got moved up 3. Oops, that guy got too high. I didn't move up 3, I must have moved up 4. My horizontal axis would then be right here, which is y equals 3, and my final curve would look like this. And that would be y equals 2 sine x minus 30 plus 3. But it's not the only way to do it. There is another way to do it. You can use mapping notation. Now, mapping notation is a little bit more difficult, but I have to tell you, every other teacher at BT likes it better. I'm not particularly fond of it as much as they are, but they like it an awful lot. And mapping notation goes like this. So if we're talking about y equals sine x, then we're going to be talking about x comma sine x for each of the points. Now each of the points on the sine x curve will be 0 comma 0, 90 comma 1, 120 comma, no, 180 comma 0, 270 comma negative 1, and 360 comma 0. those will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points on this curve. Now, that's not the curve we want. We want this curve. And that's going to change a number of things. So the first thing we notice that it's going to change is it's going to have a vertical stretch of 2. So instead of going up sine x, it's going to go up 2 sine x's. And it's going to have a vertical shift up, so that y value is also going to have plus 3. And we know it had a horizontal shift to the right, so each of the x values must have plus 30. That's how we get a movement to the right. We move plus 30 degrees. So what that means is that if we take each one of these values that was on the original curve and map them, that's why it's called a mapping notation, onto these points, then all we would actually have to do is sketch these points and we'd be done. We wouldn't have to do the black curve, we wouldn't have to do the red curve, we would get the blue curve immediately. Let's see how that works. So 0 plus 30. So our x value for this point is 0 plus 30 gives us 30. Our sine x value, our y value is 0. So sine x is 0 times 2 is 0 plus 3. This point, 90 plus 30 is 120. 1 for sine x is 1, times 2 is 2, plus 3 is 5. 180 plus 30, 210. 0 for sine x, 0 for sine x, times 2 is 0 still, 3. 270 plus 30 is 300. Negative 1 for sine x, negative 1 for sine x, times 2 is negative 2, plus 3 is 1. And finally, the last one, 360 plus 30, 390. 0 for sine x, 0, times 2 is 0, plus 3. And then, all I would have to do is sketch these 5 points. So 30, 3, 30 degrees, 3 in the y takes me right here. That's 30, 3. 120, 5. 90, 30 more is 120, up to 5. 120, 5. This point, 210. So 180 plus 30 is 210, 3. This point should be 300. 270 plus 30 is 300, up to 1. And finally, 390, so 360 plus 30 is 390, up to 3. And we have the exact same curve in the exact same location, but you didn't have to do the other two. My suggestion to you, know both ways. Know how to do it well, understand it inside out. You really need this for next year if you're planning on doing grade 12 technical course, and learn it inside out now, both ways. Okay, I'm going to stop the video there and then we'll do the next example together.